Hi, this is April. Welcome back to my channel. I love taking a camera with me anytime I go to a museum or a historical landmark. And after watching so many YouTube reviews and getting gear acquisition syndrome, I had somehow convinced myself that a full frame sensor is always the best tool for the job.
Full frame sensor cameras, the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop.
But over the past year of using this little DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I have come to the realization that sometimes a small 1-inch sensor is all you need to get the job done. I had started off with the Lumix G95, a Micro Four Thirds sensor camera, and the footage was so incredibly stable, and I didn't realize how good I had it. But it wasn't always the best in low light. So then I had moved on to the ZV-E10, and it was small and compact, but I was having a miserable time with shaky footage. I was able to fix it using Catalyst Browse for the most part, but it took so long to render, and I'm really impatient when I want to get in and edit a video. Then I caught the full frame bug, and I somehow decided I needed to try out the Sony ZV-E1. It's also lightweight and compact, especially with the 24mm Sony lens. And this one has a dynamic steady shot mode that really does give you pretty smooth footage, but it crops in about 30%. So it's not always ideal. And I was finding that my footage was still getting some jerky movements. And then when I got the Osmo Pocket 3, which was significantly cheaper than the other cameras, coming in around $500, I was shocked at how steady the footage was when I took it to the Detroit Historical Museum. And it did so well in low light. Pleasantly surprised that a 1-inch sensor can really hold its own against some of the more expensive full frame sensors. I'm sure the Sony ZV-E1 image will always look a bit better, especially if you had it on a gimbal. But when you're in a tight, crowded public space and you only have a few seconds to film a display, I don't want to mess with a gimbal at all. I just want to get in and get out. And the Osmo Pocket 3 is so small and discreet. I appreciate it so much. The real test for the Osmo Pocket 3 was in the basement of the Detroit Historical Museum. They have an exhibit of the streets of old Detroit, and it is so dark down there that my Sony A7 IV was really struggling with noise taking photos. But somehow the Osmo Pocket 3 was able to get all of my footage so crisp and clean, and I am so appreciative. And it was so small that no one really knew what it was, and they didn't care. Whenever I try to film discreetly with my larger camera, there's always someone in the crowd staring straight into the lens and making a funny face. The other time the Osmo Pocket 3 really came in handy was when I was on a museum ship in Toledo. It was called the SS Colonel James M. Schoonmaker. And I didn't realize I was afraid of heights until I got up towards the top of the ship. I found the decks to be really uneven, and looking over the side made me really dizzy and anxious. And trying to film with a larger camera would have really thrown off my balance. So I was able to take the little Pocket 3 and just point it away from me, not looking over the side, and I was able to get some pretty cool footage. Don't get me wrong, I will always love taking out a larger camera, especially for photography. I love the way it feels in the hand, but I've definitely decided to open my mind to the capabilities of a smaller sensor. I'm really thinking about getting back into Micro Four Thirds. I had sold my Lumix G9 Mark II, and I think I want it back. If you can relate, drop me a comment. If you like this video, give it a like. Consider subscribing for more camera-related content from a newbie like me. God bless.